we're gonna keep it real right from the beginning. If you currently work a 9 to 5, that means you are helping someone else to build out their dream. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because unless you come from money, then you need capital to be able to survive in this world. And with capital, that allows you to build the life that you can want for yourself in the future, all right? Like, I honestly get tired of so many people trying to bash 9 to 5s, because one of the first things you need to understand is that not all 9 to 5s are built the same. And I don't want you to turn around and end up homeless or selling your butthole to get by because you don't listen to one of these stupid videos about quitting your job because they can't never help you get to the future that you want. You know what I mean? So today, we're gonna break those down, just that variation of the differences in the type of 9 to 5s that exist, and let's get right into it. The first things we're gonna talk about is benefits, and I'm particularly speaking on medical, dental, vision. All right, so when I used to work at LA Fitness as an operations manager, I know, big title, the benefit package was tragic. And if I would have gotten injured, I'm talking about an ambulance had to come, or I had to go to the hospital, a surgery, good Lord. I can't even imagine what that bill would have been. When I used to need to go to the dentist, root canal, completely out of pocket, right? They did cover like an x-ray and cavities, but like, honestly, you might as well just say the dental plan didn't exist unless your teeth was perfect. And then for vision, I did never utilize that. And so I can't really speak on that, but just know it wasn't premium either. But now within the tech world, medical, phenomenal. Like, I'm able to make same day's appointment, next day appointments. I can have video calls that prescriptions come right away. For prescriptions, I pay up to like $5. I think the most I've ever had to pay for a copay was $20. I can go to providers outside of my plan. Like, just amazing. If ambulance is covered, time in the hospital is covered. It's like, so I would never get those same insurance bills that other people would that still work at places with those type of medical benefits. Dental actually does cover things like root canals. Now, you can't get like 5 of them. Usually the limit is about 2,500 for the year, but that's great. Especially if you don't have a lot of work that ever needs to be done. It like covers you for most things. Now for vision, they'll give you a new pair of glasses. Like, you can get prescription lenses renewed and contact lenses and all types of stuff. So like, even that basic bare minimum necessity of medical, dental, vision, as y'all see, astronomically different based on what kind of 9 to 5 you have. Actually, that intrigues me. What kind of benefit package does your company currently offer? Are you still at that LA Fitness type of benefit, or are you more in a better one that actually covers your needs? Like, let me know in the comments below. The second thing we're gonna cover is time off. And I feel like this is one of the biggest things that I've always come up because of how many people experience burnout, all right? Now, there's gonna be different time off policies with the type of company that you end up joining. Some companies, they have it where you have to accrue it. So as you work days, you accumulate time off, and then you can take those days off. But if you did not accumulate any days, then if you take off, you are not paid, which is terrible, by the way. Second one is usually they front load you a certain amount of time. So let's say you get 2 weeks off, then you get those 2 weeks off the back, and you can utilize them when you want throughout the year. But again, when that time is done, you aren't getting paid for it. And then you have my job within tech. We have unlimited paid time off, okay? So that means you can take off whenever you want. Now, naturally, could you take off 5 months in a row for just no reason? No, of course not. Like, let's like not get ridiculous here. But if you need a week off for vacation, you're good. If you need mental health days, you're good. You're experiencing burnout and just need 2-3 days to recalculate, you're good. Like, no issues there. And so a lot of people within this space aren't experiencing burnout the same because you're actually able to get those days to recharge yourself. And so make sure you understand that too when you're looking at certain companies, to be like, what is the time off policy before you join? Because if this is all you know over here is the accrual and front load, then you haven't even experienced what this life is like. And let me tell you, when I first joined the tech world, I was just like, wait a second, man, it's gotta be fake. It ain't fake. And I actually don't think I could go back to anything else, or I just have to work on my own. Like, there's no way I could go back to those other policies ever again. Third thing we're gonna talk about is workload, all right? Now, this, I believe, is a big one. Now, it's also 50-50, so make sure y'all listen up real close here. So, a lot of times, when you work at companies that don't usually offer good benefit packages or good time off policies, then it comes with a lot of work for just your one position. So you're wearing like 100 hats for your job, and it's just like, God damn, like, what's going on here? Like, I feel like I never get a second to breathe, and I never get anything to do. And like, don't get me wrong though, working within that environment teaches you a lot of skills, but sometimes it also doesn't help you understand how to delegate and how like to become an expert in a certain area, right? When you move into tech, now this part is important. There are two types of tech companies. There are startups, which in that case, you will be wearing 10 hats as well, because usually it's hustle and bustle. We're trying to get it off the ground. We don't want this to fail. And I actually think this is a lot of times a good place to start as well, because you will still get the good benefit packages and time off. But that beginning year or two, oh yeah, it's gonna be a grind. You know what I mean? But you're gonna gain so many skills that it's gonna be worth it in the end, especially when it comes to salary, which we're gonna talk about next. And then you have more built out, usually like 500 plus companies within the tech world, where now your workload is super manageable. Why? Because there are experts across the field. So I'm gonna use something like HR. So if you work in HR right now, you probably do the recruiting, you probably do the payroll, you probably do all the operational processes and things like that. You probably do the hiring, the firing, you get my point. The onboarding, all that. But when you're on a team, you have your recruiting team that does recruiting. You have your people partners that do terminations. You have your operations team that does the day-to-day. You have a benefits team that does the benefits. Like, everyone's an expert in that particular field. And yeah, you can cross over with each other to assist or like work cross-functionally, but a lot of times they're the expert. They handle that. Workload is way more manageable than when you are working for like one of those companies that's just like having you do way too much. Next up, we're gonna talk about compensation. All right. Now, I remember when I worked at LA Fitness, even being full-time, like we were paid hourly. All right. And not only was the hourly like minimum wage, but to get a raise, it wasn't like it was just guaranteed. Even if you got your numbers, you still had to like ask. And I'll never forget like me, and at that time, I think minimum wage was like 16, 17 an hour. And so I'm just like asking like, well, hey, you know, I've been getting this pay for like 2 years now. Can I get a raise by like $2? And my manager was like, oh yeah, we could do that for you. And it's just sitting back like, dang, yo, I gotta sit here and ask all the time. And you know, you can't just see my great work and come give me the money. Like it just felt crazy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times too, now we move away from like hourly companies. You could work for companies where you get a salary. But how often is your promo cycle, right? There's gonna be a lot of companies where your promo cycle is like once every year, and you probably only get like 3 or 4%. And so with that, yeah, if you're in those environments, then I understand how just tragic and terrible that could feel and be. But now we're gonna move you over to my world, right? So within the tech world, your compensation package consists of two things, right? A lot of times you are going to get equity and you are going to get a salary. All right, now I'm gonna talk about equity first. Equity is shares within the company for if it ends up doing well. And you usually get this, you can get this with private and public companies, but now y'all will understand why like these millionaires pop up when companies go public, okay? Because if you work for a company and when they first start out, they give you like 10,000 shares. Again, I'm not even, salary comes with this, but we're just gonna speak on the shares. They give you 10,000 shares to start off, right? They're vested at about, we'll give it $2 a piece. Then your company after 3 or 4 years, and by the way, you will get equity increases when you get promotions based on your retention, like the amount of time you're there. So those shares will go up. Let's just keep it at 10,000 for now. That means that in 4 years, you do have to pay for those vested shares a lot of times. And so that's 10,000 times $2. That's 20,000 you will have to pay at some point to acquire those shares. But the company goes public. Those shares are now worth $100 a piece. So now that 10,000 is now, and so you pay the 20,000. So now you just made $1,000 on top of that. And you also get your salary, okay? And a lot of times within the tech world, salary increases will usually be a lot higher than 4% and potentially do them like every 6 months. And now you probably won't get a promo every 6 months, but they like to revisit and do things like merit increases. And then usually promotions are like yearly. And so even with that, that's a big difference between a person only getting 4% every single year and someone else getting 8, 10, 15, 20% raises and everything. And so it's just like, these aren't the same, right? So if someone has worked 10 years here, of course they're miserable if within 10 years you've only seen 20%. And then the person over here within 10 years has seen 120% increase. And now y'all can see why that gap always gets bigger and bigger and bigger based on the 9 to 5 that you end up choosing. Damn, it's getting dark outside while I'm doing this video, but hey, now y'all also see, let me know if y'all want to see a video about working a 9 to 5 while doing content creation, because hey, this part of the grind too, you feel me? Like, I'm knocking this out as I'm talking, the evening's going down, but hey, we got to get this content out. Why? Because I still want to build something on my own while I'm still working a 9 to 5. Y'all hear me? All right, so the last thing we're gonna talk about is management style, okay? So a lot of times when you work at one of them companies on this side of the fence, the managers might be a little bit more micromanaging, or it's only like one position ahead of you that like this person has had for 10 years. And so you can never get it. Even when I worked at LA Fitness, I think the level above me was like a district manager, and that person had already been there for like 8 years. And so the only way that I ever was gonna get promoted is if this person went to a regional manager. There was people who was operation managers for like 5 or 6 years, and they just were chilling in that position because there was probably no possibility for them to move up. I don't care who you are, that sucks. You know, that's why I was miserable when I was in that world. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. But over here, within the tech world, especially a lot of times, no one's comfortable. Everyone's trying to move up. So your manager, no matter what they make or what they're doing, they're trying to get to that next level. And guess what makes them look good? Getting you to that next level. So it's way different with even just the growth aspect of things. Like the managers in this world, let me tell y'all, treated me way better than the ones when I was on the other side, because everyone, when you improve, they improve. You know what I'm saying? So like, if right now you getting micromanaged every single day and it's becoming a struggle for you, listen, it's your time. Y'all hear me? So all in all, what I want y'all to take from this is that working a 9 to 5 is not the problem. It's working a job that doesn't align with your goals or your values in this moment right now. All right? Every 9 to 5 is not the same. Every culture with every company is not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's about choosing the right one for you. All right? So tell me in the comment section below, do you currently enjoy your 9 to 5 job, or are you looking to change and move it? And actually, I'm intrigued as well. Do y'all want to see that video about working a 9 to 5 and doing content creation, man? Thank y'all for sticking around. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see everybody at the top.